All right, if you just joined us, it is still Journalist Hangout. I'm still here with Tunde Abato and Tony Nwaji. All right, the menace of farmers and herdsmen clashes is still a knotty issue in Nigeria, and efforts are ongoing to tame it. As part of this, the Yobe State Governor, Mai Malabuni, has directed the State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources to hand over all the facilities at the Nizari Livestock Development Center in Jakusko local government area of the state to leaders of herdsmen. In a statement by the Chief Information Officer of the Ministry, Aishatu Tijani, the governor stated that the handing over became necessary as the multi-billion-naira project is ready for occupation and use. Governor Buni reassured residents of readiness of the government to support the grazing reserves for socio-economic growth and development of livestock production in the state. All right, Tunde Abato, I'll start with you. The Yobe State government handing over this newly established grazing reserves to herdsmen. Well, how significant is this?
Well, it is in the sense that this is the first practical demonstration of seriousness to reduce insecurity in our country. Now, people have been told, the last government toyed with the idea of Ruga, allowing cattle to move from probably Sokoto down to Abeokuta, from Abeokuta to Makurdi. It is senseless. So I think this governor, among the 19 state governors we have in the north, you know, the whole of northern Nigeria can supply the whole of Africa meat if it is properly done. The whole of, what was the place? This Sambisa forest, it covers 7 states in Nigeria. 7 states in Nigeria is enough to grow the whole of cow we want in Nigeria. So by doing this thing, it's a wake-up call on all other governors to do something similar, especially in the northern part of the country. And for those people in the south who are also shouting that we are hungry, this is an opportunity for them to go and develop their own reserve too, to go and develop their ranches too. Let them develop ranches and not government to run it. It has done well by saying that we have developed this thing, we are going to give it to the people to run. When they run, government will say, okay, we are giving you this thing. 500 million naira, give it to us every year. We don't bloody care. We don't want any cow to roam the streets again. You know that in the next 1 year, if that thing is put into use, the quality of meat cow that will come out of that place is going to be better than the ones that will trek from Sokoto down to Lagos. Before they get to Lagos, if a trailer is load of cow about 150, by the time they get to Abattoir in Agege, they have reduced to 100. And the taste of the cow in Kano, I'm telling you,
it's different from the one we have in Lagos.
Because really? They have to go through. Yes, now, because they are taking directly from the lorry. So the problem is that the man has started solving the problem. And one of our problems in this country is that we know the solution, but we like to prevaricate and to be sentimental about this thing. So there's nothing to be sentimental about. So let all the other 18 governors in the northern part of Nigeria do whatever they can do because the land is there. Let all the, especially Southwest, do you know that? As far back as 1959-60, Chief Awolowo had about 20 farm settlements. Besides that, he has a livestock feed that was specifically set up.
Right now, those farm settlements are...
So why can't we go and revive this thing and make it work?
Reviving the farm settlements.
The farm settlements and the livestock companies that were created specifically for this. Do you know that as we speak now, in the Southwest alone, we have 11 agricultural training institutions. Why can't they develop varieties that will solve the problem? And people are shouting. We have lands that are not cultivated. And people are shouting that we are hungry. And governors are busy selling the lands for housing estate. I think we have to, this man got it right. And I want to commend him for having, while all others are shouting, the man silently. Nobody knew when they started this project. The man silently.
And that's how it should be.
That's how it should be. But others, before they turn in the salt, they will spend billions of naira turning the salt. At the end of the day,
you won't see the salt again.
You won't see the salt again. So he has done something that is novel. Let all other governors do something like. And I'm telling you, before you know it, that do you know how much meat is consumed in Lagos every day?
In Nigeria.
Lagos, let us in Lagos, about 5 billion worth of meat every day.
Compared to what you have in Nigeria.
But establishing a grazing reserve such as this, will it solve, just like what he said, will it solve the issue of the farmer-herder clashes?
To a great extent.
To a great extent?
Yes, it will solve that problem. Why do you think the governor went on that route? Because it has been a problem.
Then if it will solve, then why have they been food dragging all this while?
Just like Mr. Barton said, we know our problem. It's not about gathering committees and say, We know our problem. It's a will to solve it. We know our problems. Why can't you have grazing reserve? And I'm happy the Yobe State government is starting it. See, over the years, let's say under General Buhari's administration, we had this issue day in, day out.
Sure.
Cattle go into people's sweat.
Right.
No compensation. People just go home sulking, and at the end of the day, nothing happens. So, as I said before, we've been talking. Everybody knows the solution to the problem. Instead of roaming these cattle across states, feeding on people's sweat, build grazing, because these are business concerns. You know, you invest. I'm farming. I have my farm. You are doing your cattle business. Why do you want to use your own business to spoil my own? And at the end of the day, no justice. And everybody just go on like that. What the Yobe State governor is doing, I think he wants to set the pace. And I want to, employ the other governors across the federation to do it. Let me put it this way. Apart from the fact that the state government has created that grazing reserve, I can assure you that if there is no law enacted to mandate compliance,
the next administration might just...
It will work. Even right now, it will work. I will expect the State Assembly to enact a law making it compulsory. There must be compliance. If there is no law around it, because it's an age-long problem, how are you going to do it? It goes beyond just, having those grain reserve and telling them, now you have to do it. No, they will not. Because it's been a tradition over the years. How do you start reorientating them? You say, okay, let's do it this way. This is the best way to do it. You must speak to them. They must understand you, first and foremost. Before you not agree with it, okay, let's use this. Because it's not the norm. The norm is you take it from Zamfara down to Benue, from Benue to Yobe, from Yobe to Sokoto, and keep moving around, feeding on people. So for you to do it, there must be law. It must be backed with law. I was expecting the state to have done that first. Approach the State Assembly, enact a law, then you unveil this.
Okay, today, do you foresee other governors in the north coming up with this kind of initiative?
They just have I think there is good ideas is better copied by other governors, taking into consideration their own local environment. Okay. And I want other governors in Nigeria, not only in the 18 states in the north.
So it's a national problem right now.
The remaining governors, especially Southwest, that has a lot of forest. Southeast too, they can copy good things and adapt it to their local environment so that we can prevent people from roaming. Do you know that the life of the nomads will be much more organized? They will have attention to health services, education,
even their children.
They even make more money from that thing than allowing them to roam from Kamfashan to Sokoto, from Sokoto down to Akwa Ibom. It's not what it. We should do. Nigeria, if we want to catch up with the rest of the world, we should do things in the normal way it is done. We should not go back to
put aside the olden days.
The olden days of those things. Do you know why, like Tony said, why people may not want to make it work? Most of those people, capitalists, they are the ones who own the capital we are looking at. All those Fulani herdsmen are
working for them.
They are not the owner. They are the ones owning it. So they should have a change of heart. They can make more money by ranching their cattle than making them to roam all over the country. It is not. And you are destroying other people's farms.
So if the state houses of assembly of those states pass the law to make sure that, you think it's a way to go?
Well, it's a way to go. When they pass the law, let the governor implement the law. Let him use the resources of the government, the institutions of the state, to make sure that it works. Nigeria has to change.
Now, establishment of the Ministry of Livestock, the establishment Ministry of Livestock to the achievement of, do you think with this one, that is happening in Yobe State, how significant is it?
Well, it is significant in the sense that I think the president is just trying to, once and for all, officially recognize that livestock business should be treated as a business in Nigeria. And it is also an issue because when you take livestock from another place to roam the 36 states of Nigeria, it is causing tension all over the country. People's farms have been destroyed. People who took loans from Central Bank, from anchor holdings. They cannot recoup anything. Anchor borrowers. So I think it is a good thing. And it's trying to make sure that the Minister of Livestock they design policies. Like I said, the terrain of each of the 36 states in Nigeria is different. Let them evolve policies and systems that will ensure that the thing works in each of the 36 states of Nigeria. That is where we can have peace. There's no point destroying other people's farm. It's like Yobe used to say that your business should not disturb my business. Your business of livestock should not say you are a cassava farmer or a maize farmer. Why are you using your cows to destroy my farm? So let us do things in the normal way, how it is done, so that we can get to where other countries are getting to.
Absolutely.
There's no point behaving like as if we are still in 1950, 1960.
Absolutely. All right, we're pressed for time. What are your parting thoughts on this one?
Let's do the right thing. We know the right thing to be done. And as I said, the new Minister of Livestock Development, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a documentary.
Where he was doing milk
he has its grazing reserve. Yes, which means if he was appointed, nominated for that ministry, I think the president knows what he's doing, because that is his
exactly.
That's his position.
We don't have grazing reserve.
So we need to get things organized. Yeah, we need to get things organized, not in disarray. Now,
apart from grazing reserves, what other things do you think the government can do to boost that sector?
Boost the
grazing. Apart from grazing, what are the areas?
First and foremost,
do you think the government?
The one that challenges Nigeria right now is this insecurity, and most times, majority of the times, we had cases where most of these headers were pointed. Were pointed as culprits when it comes to kidnapping across, because they move from states to states. It's on record. So if we can look in that direction, first and foremost, we can arrest it. I still emphasize on this grazing reserve. For me, it's number one, because we said it over and over again. Let's get it first. It will enhance that sector. You don't need to destroy people's means of livelihoods to grow your own business.
Okay.
That is where government comes in. Do that. Let's get down first. Then we can talk about others. And for me, it will solve a lot of problems. One problem Nigeria is facing right now is insecurity. I just don't want to go on that yet. But if we can get this right, I'm sure like 2% of our insecurity issues will be tackled.
Be tackled. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our final story, where it appears the leadership